Now, there are two things that I wanted to bring up. Number one is for the audience members out there. Rich was featured in a movie called Speak the Movie. But also to get there, he was one of the main contestants for the Toastmasters, basically our grand championship. Now, Rich, to set the stage, I don't think people realize what a big deal that contest is. Do you mind just telling us? Thank you. Do you mind just sharing with us the enormity of the contest, how many Toastmasters there are, just a rough idea, and how many people actually make it there because of the levels of competition? And then do you mind sharing a little bit about the movie and how that influenced your life as a public speaker?
Sure. Well, I'm an overly competitive person. So the minute I found out there were contests in Toastmasters, I started competing. And the thought of becoming the world champion of public speaking just it really got me going. So I've competed almost every year over the last 25 years. Uh, got to the world championship in 2006, and back then Toastmasters was probably at its height of 300 to 350,000 people around the world, and they were saying that 30 to 35,000 people started at their clubs in a contest, and then by the time we got to the world championship, there were 10 people left from all around the world. And in 2006, I took third. So it didn't quite get there, but celebrate anyway. I took third. 2 years later, I made it back to the World Championship, 2008. And at the region level, which is the level right before the World Championship, at that time, things have changed. We won't go into that. But I was at the region championship in Seattle. These two young guys came up to I think there were 8 of us who were competing that night at our briefing and said, we're making a movie about the fear of public speaking, and we want the world championship to kind of be our golden thread in the movie. Do you mind if we film you? And do you mind being in the movie, sign these releases? My first thought was, heck yeah, let's make a movie about me winning the world championship of public speaking. Woo-hoo! So I signed, we all signed. And sure enough, I won that night. At that time, I still had a couple months before the world championship. And the filmmakers were following all the people who won their regions. They were flying to their cities and doing some interviews, following them around as they practiced. They came out to Utah, did that with me. So I've got some really good footage of my kids when they were extremely small, which is nice. But then they followed you to the world championship. And let's just say, okay, the director was a below the knee amputee. So he and I had something in common. Plus, I had taken third. And so the assumption was I could do pretty well in this next contest. The end of the movie, there's a split screen. And you've got me on one side and LaShunda Rundles on the other side. You've got the president of Toastmasters, the incoming president, giving the awards, and you're sitting there hoping you don't hear your name for third place. Didn't hear my name for third place. Didn't hear my name for second place. But then when she started announcing first place, she said, if it's time for a woman to be the president of Toastmasters again, then it's definitely, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm not a woman. And I know where she's going with this. And there was only one woman left. And so you're looking at this split screen, and she announces LaShunda Rundles as the winner, and she's jumping up and down, and I'm on the other side going, being really glad there's not a microphone on me at that moment. That's in the movie. And then there's follow-up in the movie. And it's a good piece of filmmaking. You can watch it on Amazon Prime. I think it might be on Tubi and on Crackle. You can find it in various places. If you really want one, I've got 50 DVDs in my basement. Just get in touch with me. I'll send you one.
We'll put the links in the description of this video.
If anybody has a DVD player left.
Yes.
But here's the thing. That movie, even though it documented me not winning,
But anyway,
was I wasn't the win anyway guy yet, but I used the movie in a win anyway way, in that I was able to go to different districts, travel, and give keynote speeches, give educational sessions. Sometimes we would show the movie and I would do Q&As. It got me to Hawaii. I mean, I was able to do some good things because of that movie. And you might not even have me on this podcast if that movie hadn't existed, because that movie is probably the most significant marketing piece I've had, and it helped lead to the later the TEDx talk, the Denver Ignite, going all around the world via Zoom when COVID hit and speaking in every district. They wouldn't have had me if I was just some normal guy. They let me speak at their clubs because of Speak, because of Twice at the World Championship. And I mean, anybody can go visit a club all around the world, but I actually got to be invited to speak either at their club or for their district conference or whatever during COVID. And it was a fantastic time for me. But it was an opportunity for me to share everything Toastmasters has given to me. That's why I do it. I mean, why people always ask me, why are you still in Toastmasters after all this time? Haven't you learned enough yet? It's like, well, it's a great place to practice, number one, but it's about giving back, because I wouldn't have a coaching career or even close to a speaking career if I hadn't done Toastmasters and been given the opportunities that they've given me.
I needed to benchmark that. This was before you sat at the DMV and came up with it win anyway.
Yes.
You already imbued it. You already inserted the same philosophy into your marketing. And for everyone watching here, you guys need to realize just how accomplished of a speaker Rich is. He's been to that grand championship twice. He's been in a gosh darn movie that's streaming on Amazon. I feel like a shameless plug, and I'm not ashamed of it. And also, he is a TEDx speaker. So just put all of those things together. That is the background and experience that he brings into his business, disability or not.